Good morning. We are here at Sophia Sparks Chasten's Park, Memorial Park, dedicated to her. Her heirs had donated this land to Dyer, Arkansas. And we're doing our Christopher Christian study cast. This is my first one, so I'll get that down later on. But if you'd like to subscribe and like, that would be great. I don't ask for any donations. This is all free. The Lord's Word's free. Tobit is what we're dealing with today. Tobit was in the Old Testament, in the Old Catholic Bible, also in the Ethiopian Bible, and some other Bibles. Mainly it was taken out around the 19th century. It is really good to study. It might not be scripture due to the dates it was written, but it is a good book, and most religious priests and preachers, they know of Tobit, they've read Tobit, and it's a really good study guide. It's just a little overview of the book, just to see if you may want to read it. It's a really good story. I'm not going to read the book to you. It's on audio books and all that, so if you need somebody to read it to you, you can. Or if you just want to read it yourself. And there's different versions. There's a King James version and revised versions, just like the Bible. Now Tobit, his son Tobias, and his wife Anna, they were captured in northern Israel when the Assyrians attacked in 722. And they were taken, they were part of the Naphtali, I believe is how you pronounce it, or Naphtali? I'm from Arkansas, so that's what you get. Naphtali tribe, one of the lost 10 tribes of Israel. They were taking the Nineveh. Tobias would go around because they were taking all the people from Israel and just throwing them in the streets, leaving them there to die, or they would kill them and leave them there to die. Tobit, he would go around and bury the dead, give them an honorable burial. Chased by authorities, punished for burying the dead, he does it in secret so that he can still bury his people. But when he does this, he has to do it in secret, and he can't go back home until he's washed and all of this, and so he kind of slumbers where he was burying. And when he does this, he's laying there sleeping, and these birds up in the trees, kind of like these maybe, you know, they're pooping. Like they poop on your car, well, they pooped on him, and they pooped all in his eyes. And he became blind, and he couldn't see for the rest of that time, since then. Tobit's all in distress, and prays for God to kill him, and he just doesn't want to. He can't live no more. He can't see, so he can't do the work that he was doing for the Lord. But then he comes up, he remembers that he had gave some friends some money before he was captured, I believe, in Media, Persia. And so he sends his son Tobias to go get this money. Tobias is all for it, but he's a little young. You know, he hasn't traveled far except for when he got captured. And so Tobit decides to go try to find him a guide that will take him, and they're also going to send his dog with him. Well, Tobit goes to market, and he finds this guy named Azarias, and he says, yeah, I'll guide him, I'll guide him, I know right where that place is at. Come to find out, Azarias is actually the archangel, Sir Raphael. Now, Sir Raphael, the archangel, if you look in the book of Enoch, which is also used to be in the Bible, but they took it out, because it's apocryphal, but it talks about all the different angels. And Sir Raphael, he was he's the angel in charge of the spirits of men. If you look at 1 Enoch 23, Raphael, one of the holy angels, who presided over the spirits of men. And Raphael is given name derived from Hebrew, Raphael, that might be how you pronounce it, meaning God has healed. Raphael is one of the archangels according to Aramaic tradition. And so this is one story in the Bible that talks about Raphael, and there's not a lot talked about him, but he is a healer, and he heals people, especially broken spirits. And as we said earlier, you know, Tobit was thinking about killing himself. And so God had sent him down to help with this, not kill him, but help keep him from dying and giving him a restored spirit. Well, on the way, Tobias goes down the creek to get some water, and this fish grabs his leg, starts to suck him down in there. Raphael says, grab that fish, and so he grabs the fish and brings it on shore. And Raphael says, I want you to cut that fish open and take his liver, his heart, and his gallbladder out, and we're going to wrap that up and save it for a later mission. So Tobias goes ahead and does that, gets that all taken care of, and then they head back on. Well, they get to Media, Persia. They find Raguel's house. This is the friend of Tobit who has the money. Tobias requests the money, he meets this girl Sarah. That's Raguel's daughter. And she's beautiful, and he falls in love with her. They're from the same tribe, and the 10 tribes that were lost, they're from that same tribe because Tobit only wanted him to marry from the same tribe. And so they decide to get married. The only problem is Sarah's been tried to get married 7 times, and every time she gets married, this demon that's in love with her kills the husband before they can consummate the marriage. So this is going to be her 8th wedding, and herself had wished to die, and I believe she might have tried committing suicide once, but it didn't work, and God saved her from that. So Raphael was also sent for her spirits also, to lift her spirits up so she's not depressed. So what he does is he tells Tobias, okay, this is what I want you to do, because they get married. Now once you go in there, you take that heart and that liver and you put it down there and you light it on fire and get it smoking real good, because it's all dried now. It's really good. Well, when it starts smoking, they find out that demon don't like the way that smells, and it takes off and it's never heard from again. That's fish, liver, and heart. So that fixed it. The demon's gone. They consummate the marriage, and all is well. So they stay in Media for a long time, and Tobit believes that they're never coming back. They take off and they go back to Nineveh. That would be Tobias, Raphael, Sir Raphael, and Sarah, and their faithful dog. They get all the way back to Nineveh. Raphael says, now, take that gallbladder, and I want you to rub it on the eyes, blow it, and then rub it in the eyes of your father Tobit. And so he does that. And after he does that, Tobit can see again. So Raphael tells them his secret, that he was sent by God to care for Tobit, Tobias, and Sarah, and that all is well and he must depart. But before he departs, he had some words to relay. And some of these words are used on the Sermon Mount by Jesus in the same order that it's here, and they believe that maybe Jesus had read Tobit also. He probably did. I mean, you can't watch movies. So here's what Sir Raphael, the archangel, had to say, and I want to read this so I don't get it wrong. A king's secret should be kept secret, but one must declare the works of God and give thanks with due honor. Do good, and evil will not overtake you. And the other one that was used, Tobit 12:8, is compared to Matthew 6:1 through 12. And it's expounded on here, prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness. A little with righteousness is better than much with unrighteousness. It is better to give alms than to lay up gold. And if you compare this, which was written in 225 BC to 175 BC, with Matthew 6:121, which was written around 70 AD, you will see that Jesus probably had studied this book also. It's really neat because there's also a theology that Jesus were all these angels that came down before he was in human form, before he became man, that he was with God, and when God would send these angels, that was actually Jesus coming down, that Raphael was actually Jesus. So maybe he said it twice. Well, that's Tobit. That's just a little synopsis. Anyway, I recommend reading it. It's a really good story, and there's some really crazy stuff that goes on in there, and it's really good. Don't forget to give alms. Whoa!